Hello, everyone, and congratulations on this wonderful film. I've already seen it twice and can't wait till the next one. Yes. Well, a question for all of you to start with. I mean, as well as having an absolute blast watching this movie, I think people are going to it's going to mean a lot to people who will see themselves reflected in these characters and maybe like they've never seen themselves on screen before. And so I wanted to know from each of you your favorite piece of LGBTQ plus culture, whether that be a film or a TV series, music, a play, just a piece of culture, or a person who identifies as LGBTQ plus. So someone or something that sort of made an impact on you and resonated with you over the years, and why. So maybe Andrew, start with you.
Good, because I'm going to say one that I hope no one digs. Margaret Cho.
Always taking answers.
And why would you go? Why would you go for Margaret?
You know, Margaret wrote this article a couple years ago about how she got kicked out of a Korean spa because of her tattoos, and I read that and was so moved by it because she said that it's because she has to fight for her Korean identity that makes it hers. And as a gay Korean American who hasn't always seen how those two parts of my identity can sit together, like I saw that she was defining it her own way and that I could borrow that definition. And so now to work with her on this movie is so meaningful.
Oh my God, Andrew.
I mean, shout out to like B.D. Wong, Sean Hayes, like all the people that have been around on television representing since the 90s. Nathan Lee Graham.
Oh my God.
Let's just not like these people from the last generation that have been so incredible and indelible in the roles that they've played, and they have made an impact. And you know, I hope that we're making them proud with this.
Yes.
Bowen, did you want to pick something?
I was just reminded of him, Scott Thompson.
Yes.
Someone who like was just blazing every trail as like this gay man doing comedy at a time when it was really, really, really thorny and barbed to even like put something out, and he was, you know, giving some of the most iconic drag performances in you know, entertainment history. I think he's someone. James was talking about this earlier. This movie is a result of so much sacrifice from so many generations of people, and I think the conduit to history is pretty well represented in the film. I think there's a lot of honoring all of the history that's gone into that place, which is Fire Island.
Yes, and that beautiful sequence where we get to see the archive photographs is very touching.
Yeah.
So, in terms of who hasn't had a chance to answer yet about their favorite piece of LGBTQ plus culture or person, Nick, should we go with you as you're sitting next to Bowen?
Sure. My earliest memory of seeing someone that I identified with on television was Wilson Cruz in My So-Called Life, and that for me was so big. I just remember what an impact that had, and I thought, wow, that is me, and maybe someday I can be on TV like him.
And still doing incredible work. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Conrad, how about yourself? Sorry to just go along the front row, but maybe
I love that.
It's like being a teacher in class in a way.
Yeah, they weren't members of the queer community themselves, but the Golden Girls were. So they still mean so much to me. I still watch them every night before I go to sleep, and I just feel like they're my accepting grandmothers that I never had.
They're definitely honorary members, and I mean it's interesting. In the pilot episode, they had the gay cook, which is kind of really
yeah. But they also did a lot of LGBTQ themed episodes at a time where it was like a huge risk to even touch on any of those themes. So yeah, I love them.
Tomas, you're next.
For me, I would say specifically within the Black and Brown queer trans family, people like MJ Rodriguez, Billy Porter, Laverne Cox are people that I really look up to, especially in my non-binary binary. It's really nice to see them blaze trails and me follow through and blaze my own. So I really look up to them and hope that I am passing the baton on and holding it well. In terms of like my career, people like Nick Adams, going from like playing an ensemble member in Priscilla, Queen of the Desert on Norwegian Cruise Line to then acting alongside Nick Adams. the OBC Felicia was really iconic.
Yeah.
And also going from doing the Pride song on SNL with Bowen Yang.
Oh my God.
With Lil Nas. And then starring in this fabulous film alongside him is just, it makes my queer, young, non-binary heart very happy.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So if you could pass the baton on along the back row so we get to hear from everybody. So Torian next.
Yeah, I think it was like folks like Queen Latifah growing up and living single were very inspirational to me, and seeing someone body diverse and queer leading the way. Also Raven-Symoné, let's give her props
Yes.
now,
Yeah.
yesterday and forever.
Yeah.
Also Noah's Ark was another one that was very inspiring to me, to see brown queer men on camera living their truest life. There was so many things that I watched as a kid that I wasn't even comfortable talking about yet, but seeing it reflected to me back on screen helped me come out, helped me live my truth. And I can keep going on, but yeah, those were some of like the major ones for sure.
I guess this is kind of a cheat of an answer, but Tomas touched on it already, but everybody in the movie, and I'm really not saying that to score points, but I think I like came onto this project thinking like I'm a fully realized, self-actualized queer person. I'm checking all my boxes. And just like Charlie was, it was just like an honor to work with people who have, before this movie, all contributed so much to like queer storytelling and art in their own ways. But then to get to work with all of them, I was like, I can expect so much better for myself and ask so much more of myself. All of them set such a beautiful example of really fearlessly like putting themselves out there and like amplifying their experience to the better of the rest of the community. And I think when I'm like 75 and like looking back on my life, I'll be like, whoa, what a crazy thing that that all of those people were ever in a room together and that I got to be there with them.
So Matt and Zane, lastly, yeah.
I'm literally emotional thinking about this because like, I don't know, like just in terms of representation, like in someone coming out and, just being themselves and like saying their truth. Like I'm just thinking about Pedro Zamora from the real world and just like how brave he was to,
It's okay, baby.
That's just like true bravery and like truly letting people know that they were seen. So that's just something I wanted to say.
I'll say Judy Garland. Just like in terms of like, yeah, it's like growing up in a more like conservative place. That was like the one touchstone of like these different parts of culture, right? Sort of like, yeah, small town conservative culture and like queer culture that I didn't know at the time, but that's where they meet, right? These are the things that like my grandmother showed me and my mother showed me, and these sort of like, you know, this like, I mean, specifically like Meet Me in St. Louis, we watched like all the time, and just like being able to, I don't know, like reaching some sort of level of performance that that truly, I mean, like was generation defining. I think that's, yeah.
And also Jinx Monsoon.
I was gonna say Jinx! Shoot, I should have said
Judy as Judy.
And quite honestly, off of Jinx, I meant to say RuPaul. To be a young, black, queer person growing up in the 90s, my family has come a long way with the conversations about our community, but Ru was definitely in a lane where there was no one like them out there, and it definitely opened up conversations in brown and especially black households to accept who you are and accept your queer children and love on them, and it definitely helped me come out and, you know, find my own truth. And so RuPaul, to see how far they've come is like unbelievable, and how many great conversations they've been able to open in households, I think is so important. It needs to be stated on camera.
Well, that was a beautiful and emotional ride. Thanks. Thanks so much, Team Fire Island.
Thank you.